Atma Namaste. So today we have the session on Aratic Yoga for self-mastery and soul mastery. We have progressed till about Blue Pearl. Let us see what we have done. We just quickly do a revision and then we will start with the following. So let's start with the salutation to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, Guru Master, Chokuksui, Maha Guruji, mailing all the great ones, Holy Gurus, Holy Masters, Saints, Archangels, Holy Angels, spiritual helpers, invisible helpers, Buddha Kuan Buddha Shakyamuni, all Bodhisattvas, all beings of light, our divine self and higher soul. To all our ancestors, Kuldevta, Nagdevta, to all the planetary logos, and to Lord Savitur. Thank you for your divine blessings. Thank you for your divine blessings. Thank you for your divine presence all the time with us, for your divine grace, divine guidance, divine mercy, divine forgiveness, divine help, divine healing, with prosperity and abundance, with neutralization of all our negative karmas, with manifestation of our greatness, with dissolving and transmuting all our weaknesses, all our negative old patterns, all our vices, and transmuting it into virtues. Thank you for your divine protection on all levels through time and space. Thank you for good health on all levels through time and space. Thank you for a healed, wholesome, manifested life. Thank you in full faith. So be it, so be it, so it is. Om. Amen. Amin. Tathastu. Tattu. True. Okay, so we have done what is Aratic Yoga, the benefits. We've in details about the chakras. We have done about the blue pearl. So today we come to the Kundalini, the sacred fire. Now, what is fire? You see, there are 5 elements we know, right? We know we start with fire, okay? There is fire. What is fire? Fire is plasma body. Fire is even more subtle than air, right? So that is why you see fire, when there is fire, it spreads like anything from one house to the other, from one tree to the other, because it is very subtle, so easily travels from one place to the other. What are the other properties of fire? Fire is hot. Fire is dynamic, right? Fire is dynamic. Fire is, it purifies. It burns out whatever comes within it. Uh, it grasps it. जैसे in Hindi we say grash kar leta hai. It just absorbs. If you remember when Hanumanji in the story of Ramayana, when he went to Lanka and he was denied um, to take Sita ji and to meet her, etc. What did he do? He put fire in the entire palace. One is it spread rapidly. 2 is it burnt everything. Right? 3 is it travels like lightning speed. There are more. We will come to it. This is just the basic. Right? Um, in that, I would also like to tell that the orange robes that all the sadhus and rishis wear, it signifies the color of fire, which purifies. So when it purifies, then all the negatives are burned out and only the pure essence is it remains. You see, there are certain metals also. When they put it in fire, they burn out all the impurities and finally little bit of even the gold, just the little bit of the purity that remains. Rest, whatever is impure, it just melts and it just burns out, right? That is the property or characteristic of fire. Next is air. What does air do? Air very smoothly flows. It blows, right? And if air is intense, then what happens? It creates storms. When it creates storms, what does it do? It blows out everything that is there, whether it is houses, buildings, cars, vehicles, whatever comes in front of it, it blows out. We know that in the West, tornado and all these storms are very, very common. So what does it do? It whirls and it just uh, uproots whatever is there, whether it is trees, whether it is houses, it uproots, and that is also a form of purification. Now, tornado, if you see, it whirls around. So what happens is, if you go to Turkey or if you know there, you know the Sufi dance. The Sufi dance, when they dance, they go round and round and round, right? So when they, now let me tell you the secret. When they go in the anti-clock direction when they are moving, it whirls out all negative patterns, negative, the weaknesses and vices, all negative emotions and energies are flushed out. Actually, the Sufi dance is very, very powerful and very effective. Even we can do. Master had said we can also do. If you really want, all your negatives to flush out of your body, you can whirl around very fast, Vata. You have to whirl very fast. And all your negative emotions, which has some density, which is floating in your astral body, or negative thoughts which are floating in your mental body, it cannot stay with that rapid, movement. It just flushes out and goes out of your body. Okay, that is the anti-clockwise. Similarly, when you go clockwise, then what happens? Then you are inhaling your body, your bodies, your etheric body, your astral body, your mental body, your spiritual body, your causal body. It is inhaling divine energy. So it's a very, very sacred, it is actually like a yoga. So when you're doing that, you're just absorbing the sun prana, air prana, you are absorbing divine energy, which whirls and comes into your crown chakra and it just, fills up your aura. Now, in this regard, I just remember when we do aarti in a temple, what do we do with that fire, that little, the diya that we have, the lamp that we have with a little fire on it? We turn it left to right, anti-clockwise and clockwise. The same thing happens. When you do it anti-clockwise, all that is negative floating in air all around, it is burnt out. And when we are doing it clockwise, then what is happening? It just like magnet, it attracts all the divine energy and it whirls around the idol of the Devi or the Deva, whoever is there, and it's filled with that divine energy. So you see, actually, in the world, all the rituals that have been there from ancient times, they are all scientific. In modern age, we don't bother because we think that, oh, what is this? This is nothing. This is just farce. And we adapt to all new techniques. But all those techniques which have been taught are actually so sacred. They are so scientific. I was in Delhi just, I think, 3, 4 days back, and I was staying in the Akshardham temple. Usually in Delhi, I stay there, or maybe Aravinda Ashram, wherever. So, over there, when I went through, I've been many, many times, the shows that they have 4 different shows, amazing shows. If you are in Delhi, you must visit Akshardham temple and you must attend those boat shows, because those give you the feel of what India is and what India was, our culture, our heritage, our thoughts, our science, our technology, what was there from ancient times. So one show where they have, in which they show the entire life of Nilkant, who is Swaminarayan, who they worship. In that, beautiful lessons are given in, those are modular with clay, this thing, but they are so lively. Mm. So you go through this, one after the other rooms, and you feel like you are actually in that era, in that place, with live people around you, as if they are really doing it. They are. So in that, in one, this thing, it is very impressive, where they show that this man, he was very poor, I think in Gujarat. He was going with his wife, walking through the desert to some other place. They had to migrate because there was no water, no food. So as they were going, they were very poor. As they were going, suddenly he sees a thick gold bangle lying on that sand. So initially he felt tempted of picking it up, because they had no money. They were very poor and they had to migrate because of their poverty. So first, for a moment he thought, then he kept it on the sand and he covered it with sand. And he said to himself, this does not belong to me, so I'm not going to take it. This is the practice of virtue as arhatics. He was not labeled as arhatic yogi or yogi practitioner, but he was for practicing his virtue. This reminds me again, long back, many, many years back, I think about 18 years back, I was traveling by train in Bombay, and I just got up from the other station. I got up in the ladies' coach. And as I went to sit, there were only two ladies on the other side. I saw a purse lying, and I told those ladies, excuse me, is it yours? They said, no. They said, oh, just now one lady got off, maybe it is hers. I just, unzipped it and I saw four thick kangans, gold kangans, gold bangles, thick and heavy, four of them, some little coins, and one ID which said she's a nurse. So I said, oh my God, I didn't tell them that they were gold bangles, because I didn't know how they would react. I said, oh my God, she has left her purse. What do I do? Should I give it to the police in Churchgate station? They said, if you can understand from where she is, why don't you directly contact them? You never know what police will do. I said, oh yeah, right. So I was that time staying in a working women's hostel. I went back. I found out the number of that nursing home where she was a nurse. I called them. A man picked up and I said, I would like to speak to so and so, this nurse so and so. He said that her duty is not there now. She will come tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. You can call after that. I said, okay. So next morning when I called her, she said, oh my God. And she started crying and sobbing like a baby. She said, last whole night I was just dead, thinking that I have lost it, because I was going to sell these for a surgery for my brother, for his kidney surgery. So I was taking these to the, jeweler, and I'm so tensed and so anxious that by mistake I left them. So she was crying and crying and crying. And then I told her, you come over and you take it. So sweet. Maybe they are under the poverty line, maybe whatever. I don't know. She got a small little 5 star. And so sweet of her. I felt so nice that, her gratitude she expressed with that little 5 star, whatever she could afford. So that was one. That time I did not realize, because I used to do Aratic practices, but the depth of it I had not gone, which I am now. And another incident happened, which I'm remembering now. From Gateway of India, I took a cab to go to my place. And when I got on the cab, I saw, in the near the foot, I mean the footrest over there were quite a few $500 notes. So I just picked up. I thought I will give it to the driver, but then I thought if I give it to him, he will take it. And then I found a credit card. So I picked them up. I just quietly asked, where did you leave the previous, passenger? He said, oh, I left her at Leopold restaurant. I said, okay. And was it white skin foreigner? He said, yeah, yeah. I said, okay. Then he asked me, where are you going? So I gave him the place just after Leopold restaurant so that he would not suspect, but I would go there. In the meanwhile, I called the tourism ministry director and I told her, ma'am, I have got this. What do I do? Do I come and give it to you so that you can track her from the from the passports, whoever has come to Mumbai? She said, first you try to get in touch with her. If you can, then it's fine. If you don't, then we will look for her from the airport. I said, okay, fine. So I went to the Leopold, restaurant, and I asked the manager over there, do you have anybody in this name? Because on the credit card, the name was written. He said, ma'am, I don't know, but we can ask. So they asked, there was nobody. Then as I was leaving, he said, ma'am, we also have a first floor, a restaurant. I said, why don't you ask over there? So they went and they asked. And then I see a lady of, fair skinned, a foreigner lady. She was coming down the steps. And then she came and she said, yes. I told her, have you lost anything? She said, no. Are you sure? She said, yes. I said, will you check your purse, please, whether you have everything? She checked her purse, still she did not realize that she had lost something. Then I told her, do you have all your credit cards and debit cards? She checked and she said, oh, one is missing. I said, which bank? She said, Amex. I said, okay, this is your card. And she was like absolutely surprised and shocked. She did not know. Then I took out all those $500 notes and I said, these were also, I suppose, there, which had fallen off your purse maybe. So this is yours. And I gave it to her. She was so elated because shocked actually, because she did not realize that she had lost it. She gave me a hug and she thanked me and then she went away. These were two very significant incidents that I had in my life with a heavy amount of money, but later I felt these were not really incidents just like this. As I was practicing arhatic, these were tests done by the universe to see whether I have mastered you know these tests of stealing, of honesty, etc. So if you introspect, you will see you have had such tests also. Why I am telling you these is, this is how the universe keeps testing you. Once you pass the test, then you go beyond it. Then it will not be, maybe they will test 3, 4 times. Maybe first small things and then it will be a big thing. When you pass out that big test, after that, confirmed your virtue is set. Your chakral muscle in that area has grown, has developed, it is strong. So then you can focus on other things, other developments. And why these things are coming, why Guru is taking me through all this knowledge, I suppose is because the Kundalini is such a thing. Once all your chakras are developed, your virtues are developed, your vices are minimized. It has to be minimum, if not zero. When it is minimized, then you can be sure that your Kundalini will be the magic of your life. Absolutely the magic of your life. Okay. So let's come back to air. I told you about air, how air can also, that also does purification, right? Now water. What does water do? Water flows smoothly. Water symbolizes our emotions, right? So the sacral chakra or the sex chakra is connected to the element of water. And what does the sacral chakra do? You have love, you have emotions, it is lower emotions, but it has the energy of procreation. That means it can create. So if you have control over your emotions and you channelize it in the right way, it can create wonders in your life. Creating a baby is not just a simple thing. In the sense, it is actually a miracle. Just like God has created us, think about it. A male body, a female body, together bound by love, care, by compassion, they are creating a miraculous new life, giving life. God gives life, but God has given us the power, the ability, the capability to create life. And when does this happen? When your emotions are in control. For example, as a psychologist, I'm telling you now, if a couple or the woman is going through depression or too much of anxiety or is a workaholic, always in stress, that woman cannot conceive. For conception, you need a very still mind, controlled emotion, happy heart. These upper chakras have to be very active. The lower chakras have to be under control of the higher chakras. When that happens, then you can create life. What a miracle. Think about it. Human beings are creating human beings, creating life on earth. So, it is again, if you see, it is related to the Kundalini because you have to control your lower emotions. You have to tame your lower emotions. See, when a couple they get married, they're so happy. Many a times it happens that in the first few months, the woman, the wife gets pregnant because they are peak in happiness. When the heart chakras are aligned and are one with each other, that love creates, it gives you, we know that the sex chakra is connected to the higher chakras also, ajna, etc. So what happens, that heart chakra love, that love energy goes down through the navel into the sex, it not biologically, but it gives the food, the fuel to create life. So if you notice that, a couple says we are not having baby for a long time, or we are trying, but if there is no medical problem, you can heal them because their Kundalini energy is not awakening to give birth. When a woman gives birth, that is the first time the Kundalini energy actually shoots up to the crown chakra for for seconds. For seconds, it shoots up to the crown chakra and you are fully evolved. At that moment, whatever you wish, the wish will be granted. It will just magnify and it will manifest like magic. Okay. So from the heart chakra, from the solar plexus is small, the heart is big, the heart is taming the solar plexus and all the lower emotions, and it gives the fuel to create life, and the sex chakra procreates that energy to give life. So the Kundalini energy is not an energy all by itself. It is not really energy. It is the power. Who procreates? Who gives birth? It's a woman who can give birth. Why does a woman give birth? Because the feminine power, which is in and yang, if you see, yang or Purusha is subtle, pure energy. It cannot create material in this universe. The Purusha energy, the yang energy cannot create any materialistic manifestation. It cannot do. It can give you the power of thoughts, the power of emotions, which drives physically to take action. And when that action is taken, that is the in energy. So when a woman gives birth, it is the in which is fully active, number one. Again, feminine energy is Mother Earth. Mother Earth is in energy. Father Sky is yang. Both has to work complementary with each other, right? So Father Sky gives pure energy through which Mother Earth blooms. And there are trees and plants and mountains and snow and rivers and sea and ocean, these beautiful things that are created. It's created by the yin energy of Mother Earth. But the power comes from the yang of the universe. So a woman which is in energy, a matter, Mother Earth is matter, woman which has matter energy can create matter, which is a newborn baby, a bundle of matter. Now coming to Kundalini. Similarly, the Kundalini energy is actually the in energy. That is why people run for Kundalini energy is because it is the powerful energy of manifestation, materialization. When we do Kriya Shakti, what really happens? I don't want to go into detail because there might be people who have not done Kriya Shakti, but Kriya Shakti is activating that materialistic energy, that manifestation energy, which finally materializes your dreams, your wishes, your goals, whatever you wish, those are manifested, right? So we are blessed in this, school that we have had such guru, such lineage. I always talk about the lineage because we have the power of the entire lineage, right from Supreme God, Lord Amitabha, then Buddha Kwanin, then Mahaguruji Mailing, Lord Padmasambhava, then Master Chokok Sui, and then we. We are actually receiving and inhaling the power and the energy of all our lineage gurus. So we are very, very powerful to manifest what we want to do, what we wish, what we desire, provided we minimize the vices, the negativities that pull us down. All negatives. What happens? Negatives are always at the bottom. They go down. Positives always rise. Right? So what is pulling you down, if you cut it, if you erase it, if you dissolve it, there will be nothing which will pull you down. Then you can only rise, 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 rise. Correct? So when this Kundalini energy is activated, then what happens? Then there is only rise of your powers. So in case there are negatives in that, what will happen? The Kundalini energy magnifies everything, whatever is there. It does not see what is there, just like water, river, or a mountain stream or river. When it flows, it will wash out everything that comes on its way. Whether it is a pebble or whether it is a stone, whichever thing cannot withstand the power of that river or that waterfall, it will flow it out. Right? Similarly, when the Kundalini energy comes, irrespective of what is there, it will germinate. And that germination, if a plant grows, takes 6 months to grow once you plant the seed. Here, when you plant the seed of your wish or your desire or your goal, it will not take 6 months. In 6 days, it will manifest. Because Kundalini is a fertilizer. There is nothing more fertilizing than the energy of Kundalini. Right? And why is it now think about it. Why is it compared to a snake? Why snake? Think about it. What does a snake do? A snake periodically shreds off its skin. That means what? It shreds off what is unwanted. That is what it is, the inner meaning is. So what we need to do is we need to regularly, periodically shred off all the negatives that we are having already or we are growing new. We need to shred off all those. When we shred off, then we can move and then we can grow and then we can manifest. Similarly, another thing, think about it. Why 3.5 times it is coiled? That's what they say, right? Why the number 3? Number 3 is associated to the planet Jupiter. What is the energy of Jupiter? If you know astrological science and numerology, then you would know that one is Jupiter is supposed to be the guru of all the planets, right? The counselor of all the planets. That means Jupiter guides. The energy of guiding, that is there in Jupiter. Another thing is the number 3 is the number along with the planet Jupiter. It is the property and the characteristic is expansion. So it expands. So when that number 3, 3.5 times coiled snake, it starts rising, it expands all the good and bad that we have in ourselves. If you see the birth chart of, a married couple, and if you see that the position of Jupiter is in its own place, you will know and you can verify that they will have children very soon. Their family life will expand. They will have prosperity coming in. They will have, good jobs coming in. There is expansion in their life because the energy of Jupiter is coming into their life at that point of time. So the Kundalini, the snake, which shreds off all the negatives, all that is unwanted, is again combining the energy of Jupiter and it is rising. If you see one thing, that always what our school, our gurus have emphasized is purification. Because I feel, see, when you know how we have evolved, right, from the very beginning. Suppose I talk about Manu or I talk about Adam and Eve. When God gave birth to the first human being, he was absolutely pure because he was a bundle of God's energy, same energy, whatever there is in God. God is Purusha, so there is no matter, there is no physical body, but he has given a physical body to that little energy of his. And that body's name is, suppose, Adam, but the same energy. Then what happened? Adam was feeling lonely, so God thought, okay, let me create another as a company, and he created a female body, Eve. Okay, now since this was female, this was male bodies, naturally they were a little different. God created a little different from each other so that they could become complementary to each other. Can you alone create a baby? I'm talking to the females. You can't. You need the man to plant the seed of a baby in your body. That is the natural process. Then the baby is formed. Bringing up a child all alone as a father or a mother is not an easy job. It is because it is actually, they are complementary to each other. When a baby grows up and sees both the male and female, the baby actually imbibes all the characteristics of male and female, of the father and the mother. So if I tell you to write about what you have inherited from your father and your mother, you will see that you are writing down, from father you've got courage, from father you have got dynamism, from father you have got, honesty, blah, 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 blah. From mother, you will see you have inherited something different, compassion, love, care, etc. So you are a bundle of energy made of your father's masculine energy and your mother's feminine energy. So you have both within you. Similarly, your father has both the energies of their parents. Your mother has the energy of their parents. So constantly as the generation proceeds, we are becoming more and more full. The first time the mother or the father, who was the first mother and the first father, did not have so many qualities. But as generations grew one after the other, we are inhaling and taking in more and more of all the ancestors you have, those energies from the father's side, all the ancestors of mother's side you have. So you have more number of qualities in you than your ancestors, right? And not only self-created, but we also inherit number of negative patterns from our ancestors. So now when you're talking about Kundalini energy, what should we do? We should break the chain of all those negative patterns which are coming down from the ancestors. And if we can do it, the moment we do it, it is a huge big karma, good karma, because you are helping your next 7, 21, whatever generations which will come after you. You are like a dam. You have stopped that negative pattern to flow into your future generations. What a good karma you have done. You've broken that chain of negativity. And think about your children. They will already be blooming because they do not possess those negativities which were coming generation wise. So they will already be purified to a certain extent, right? So what happens is, when we are thinking of Kundalini energy, the most important thing, this is what I have got through my life, is the more purification we can do, the better for us. How can we do purification? To minimize the negatives we have, number one, to optimize the positives that we have. Both has to be done. It is yang and yin again. It is complementary to each other. It is a paradox. One you will reduce, one you will increase. And if you have the consciousness after today's session, if you develop that consciousness to be alert and aware, every time you do a mistake, whatever, if it is a, harsh word, if it is an injurious word, if it is a thought that you're stealing, if it is, maybe a little bit of dishonesty, or, you are not objective, instantly your soul will remind you, hello, rectify this. And you will see after a few times, you're not doing that. You've purified yourself already. So purification does not only mean doing the blue triangle. More than that is your alertness and awareness. When you are completely alert and aware, then what will happen is, you will see that, life is absolutely smooth. When I started Arhatic practices initially, and when I heard that, Milarepa was the only one, the Tibetan monk who was a criminal in this lifetime earlier, he climbed the Kailash mountain, and he was the only body which had climbed to the, Kailash Mansarovar, the Kailash mountain. And when I heard that he was actually an arhat, from a criminal, he turned himself into arhat, it evoked something in me. And every day for 2 years, every day I was praying, I want to become an arhat in this lifetime. So I did not realize what I was asking for. What happens? To become an arhat, you have to make your karma zero. To make your karma zero, the lots of negative karmas which you have developed through all your birth times, you have to work out in this lifetime. So how much of negative karmas will, pounce upon you? It will be dumped. And that is exactly what happened. This fatal cancer that I had, it was nothing but the downpour and download of what I was asking. Because maybe in every lifetime, what happens? We work out our karmas in installments. So every lifetime, suppose we are paying 10,000 rupees, and we are paying 12 installments, and the loan is over. But if you decide that the karmic loan I want to pay off in one time, so it will become 1,20,000, power karma, and it is so huge. It breaks us down. I am very, very, very lucky that with the blessing and the power of Guru, I survived it. And it is not only the physical thing, let me tell you, my dear friends. There's so much of downpour of emotions, negative emotions. There is a time when I went through acute fear and insecurity. So acute that I had become a stone for a year. I could not move. I could not do anything. Only if the food was given to me, I used to just eat. And then I used to again sit like a statue. And when, my healers whom they said that there's so much of karma downpour. It's like of many, many lifetimes. It's all poured down in right at this time. It was so difficult, so difficult. It's like terror, absolutely. I'm not trying to scare you. I am giving you facts that before do not pray or wish for anything without knowing what could be the consequences. Because, when I have been through the forest where I have seen that there are, thorns on that road, if I warn you, you will not go by that road. You will take another road. And it will be easy for you to walk through the path of life. So when you have seniors to guide you, when you have mentors to guide you, always be in touch with them, cross check with them. They'll be able to guide you because, like the way we used to be guided by master, and master used to tell us, do this, don't do that, etc. So be in the, because they are the channels of the guru. The guru speaks through them. The guru gives all the guidance through them. Okay. So the thing is that when initially one becomes a Haratik yogi practitioner, very, very excited, doing all the Haratik practices, doing Kundalini meditation, Dhyan, etc., etc. And then you will see after a point of time, maybe after a year or so, suddenly there are a lot of rough edges, a lot of problems, a lot of, things you're facing, challenges you're facing. And you wonder, I was supposed to get all the best. Everything should have been manifested. The good should have been manifested. Why am I having so many challenges? That's because nobody warned us that first do your purification, purify till a certain extent, and then you wish for all these meditations and all these things coming. Otherwise, what happens is we go through very, very rough times in life, which shakes us at times. There are many pranic healers I know, or Aratic yoga yogis I know. They have gone out of the school. They have not stayed in the school. Mind it, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to give you the facts that most important thing is purification, purification, purification. Purification of thoughts, purification of words, purification of action. When you considerably do this, the Kundalini will safely, happily, smiling, it will rise and you will get only flowers and fruits blooming in your life's garden. Isn't that the best thing? You don't want the garden of your life to have flowers and fruits and with that lot of shrubs and bushes and thorny, cactus. You don't want that, right? So what we have to do from the field of our life, we have, or the garden of our life, we have to pluck out all those seeds of cactus, bushes, shrubs, and throw them away. So then when we plant all those fruits and those flower trees, those seeds, the garden will be filled with only flowers and fruits. That is the right guidance to awakening the Kundalini. I also know senior trainer, scaring the participants and the students. Do not do Kundalini yoga. It is very, very, it's khatarnak. It is dangerous. It will spoil your life. It will, it will kill you, etc., etc. I know because she had guided me also. She was not my trainer, but she told me also. So then I realized that, she had not done her purification enough, number one, because initially we don't know. Nobody tells us, nobody guides us. But at the same time, she was crushed by it. She did not realize it that, okay, if I do purification in future, then I will not have the problems that I'm having. Right? So that is the right approach of awakening the Kundalini. So Arhatic Yoga, Kundalini is often misunderstood. See what it says as just energy rising. So it is not only energy rising, it is in your entire life, your entire, what is driving you, what is taking you forward. It's soul energy basically. In reality, it is intelligent evolutionary force. Absolutely right. You have to be intelligent to evolve. That force is Kundalini. All three things are very, very important. Your intelligence, the force with which it will evolve you. That is what Kundalini energy is. It's a very sacred thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. You have to um, pay your regards, your respect, your devotion towards it, because it is giving you the power of your life, the power of your soul. So, if you really, in a way, worship it by helping her to manifest in the best possible way, you remove the darkness that is surrounding the Kundalini energy. When you remove, just like the snake, throws out its skin, peel off all the negatives from the Kundalini energy. When you peel it off, when you throw it out, so smoothly it will rise, right? What are the symbols of Kundalini energy? In China, you know that red dragon that they have, that is Kundalini energy. Now, if you see the Eastern and the Western, they represent it in two different ways. In the Eastern, the Kundalini is by the dragon, which is very slim and long. All the dragons in the Eastern part of the world, you will see, whether it is China, whether it is any other country, if you see, even in our country, it is the snake. It is slim, trim, and it is long. But if you see in the Western part of the world, the Kundalini energy, the bottom is very heavy. You see the dragons that are in the West. If you see those movies, that there recently also some movies had come on dragons and all. You will see they are heavy and big at the bottom, and their head is, small. What does it mean? Understand it. What does it mean? We know now that eastern part of the world, whether it is Europe, whether it is Asia, these are ancient countries and continents where the spiritual wisdom is much more than the West, which is just a few hundred years old. So they are young. I wouldn't say soul, but yes, it is kind of soul energy. It's young souls as it over there. And it's all old souls in the East. So the old souls are much more wise. They've already purified themselves. They've already, shredded off all the negatives. And that is why they are slim and thin, so that they can just smoothly maneuver in life and in the universe. Whereas in the West, because they are young souls, they have not purified their lower emotions much. So they are heavy at the bottom, and that heavy bottom pulls them down. That is why you will see, practically I'm talking about, in the Ministry of Tourism, I take care of foreign delegates and foreign guests who come from abroad, right? So I have many, many American, delegates coming over, American guests coming over. Through the years, for last 21 years that I'm dealing with them, to be very honest, it's a fact that I see the Easterners who have had a lot of ancient culture, heritage, they're much more knowledgeable. They are much more wise. Whereas from the West, they're intelligent. But the wisdom, the ancient culture is lacking in them. That is why the dragons in the West are heavy. They have not done the purification enough. So now you decide. Now you will see many Indians also. What happens? They pass out, they go to United States or Canada, they settle down there and they work over there. What does it represent on the higher realm? They think we are intelligent, we have qualified so much, so we are going there to work and earn a lot. But if you understand the esoteric meaning, that is their karma land, right? That is why from India, where they were blessed to be born in an old, ancient, spiritual country, they had to leave this karmic land, go to a new karmic land, which is young, which is not so wise, which is not, so deep. They are serving that land. So those souls, those people who are going, they feel very, very, proud. Oh, my son, he is in the US. Oh, my daughter, she is married in Canada. But Esoterically, if you see, they cannot handle matured soul life. That is why they have moved to the West. That is their karmic land. They're serving there because they're young souls. They can handle only young things, or things which are not so, what should I say? The depth of wisdom, spiritual wisdom I'm talking about, is lacking over there. That is why you see the West comes to India to learn yoga, meditation. They go back. I have had guests who have come here 13 times. She has in Chicago a yoga, center where she's teaching yoga. They do aerobics. What we do yoga. Yoga is so scientific. Aerobics is what? It's okay. You're moving your limbs and all. But yoga, it takes care of the chakras. Takes care of the nadis consciously. Aerobics also does, but it's haphazard. It is not in order the way yoga is. So when we are arhatic yogi, it's a part of yoga that we are doing. The union of the body, mind, and soul. That's what we are doing. Aerobics is not yoga. Zumba is not yoga. You can feel, oh, wow, wonderful, we are dancing and etc. We are doing. I also see the Christians. I love it actually, that in their culture, along with in India, Gujaratis also, you will see they do not dance. The entire family, whenever there is something, they will all dance. So nice, because dance flushes out a lot of things, right? But in India, if you look at the classical dances that are there, Bharatnatyam, Mohiniyattam, Odissi, Kathakali, Manipuri, how many people dance these classical dances, and why do they dance it? Because their level of evolution, they are doing that yoga to evolve a higher level in certain areas. They are already entitled for it. That is why they are into it. Why do we say that, oh, Saraswati ka daan hai, that's why your voice is so beautiful, that's why you dance so well, etc., etc. We can also cultivate. All of us can cultivate. You have to, as you cultivate, what will happen? You will see your, obstacles are being shredded away. If you have a mental obstacle, oh, I am fat, I can't dance. That's an obstacle you have created. It will be removed. Then you think, oh, I don't have a voice to sing, I can't sing. There is nothing impossible in our world or in our life. Nothing. Because I say impossible. I am possible. Everything is possible provided you want to do it. When you really will to do it, it will happen. Nobody can stop it because the whole universe will conspire to give it to you. And the universe will conspire to give it to you from the energy level and your Kundalini energy, which is the intelligent evolutionary force. It will force you to manifest that. Right? So in Arhatic Yoga, Kundalini is gradually and safely stimulated. That is the best thing in our school. Very safely and gradually, gently it is stimulated. It rises through a purified channel system, which is the nadis. So when we shred off all our negative weaknesses, what happens? The nadis become clean. Otherwise, they keep accumulating like moss in our nadis, in our chakras. Think about moss accumulating in a tall pine tree, slippery, dark green, grayish color. It's like very cold. How does it feel? Similarly, all those negative emotions are stuck to us, our nadis, our chakras, just like that. Do you really enjoy that, having those in your whole system? And we are carrying that with us all the time wherever we go. This dark, slippery, clinging onto us, our nadis and chakras, all the dark energies of anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, intolerance, dishonesty. These are all those slippery energies, black, dark energies hanging to us. Don't you feel that, no, I want to be free of all this. I want to have a clear clean, clear, golden naris where only golden prana is flowing smooth through these channels. And my chakras are brightly shining with gold prana, it's shining, and it is, it is radiating that light. And there is no darkness clinging onto it, no darkness, hanging out of it. So that is what you have to imagine, what you have to wish, and what you have to do. You have to take action. So now what they say, it is balanced with descending spiritual energy. What happens is the energy, when you start doing the Kundalini meditation, the pure divine energy from the universe starts pouring down. So if your nadis are clogged up with negative energies, negative emotions and thoughts, it's clogged up, then what will happen? A, a wire, that wire in between is clogged up with, some impurity, and you are forcing 100 watt or 1000 watt energy or power. What will happen? It will burst over there, clogged up energy. When it bursts, then what happens? Big, because that if that, suppose for example, there is a clogged up energy of stealing, for example. Okay, now there is a lot of stealing energy clogged up in that nadi, and pure energy is coming down from heaven while we are doing the Kundalini meditation, and it is getting stuck over there, and the pipe is blowing, big, it's getting like a balloon, and then suddenly it bursts. When it bursts, then what happens? Suddenly you will see in your life, you will face big theft, because there was stealing energy. It has, attracted a big theft because of that burst of the pure divine energy which came down from heaven. Okay. So when it comes down, if our nadis are clean, smoothly it flows down. It, engulfs that Kundalini, that sleeping serpent, smoothly it awakens. So then there is a complementary thing happening. It's 50 plus 50 or 20 plus 80 or 70 plus 30, whatever it is. But totality, it becomes 100 when it unites with each other. And then it is balanced with the descending spiritual energy. When it is balanced, then finally, both the energies, when they go up, it is 100% energy going up through that clean nadi, through those clean and clear chakras. Obviously, everything, whatever the chakras are magnified, then all positive is happening in your life. Only positive after positive, positive after positive, positive after positive. And let me tell you, even if we have Kundali, which is the birth chart, and it says there is a lot of suffering, there is theft, there is this, there is that, with your own efforts, you can change your destiny. Because when you purify yourself, and when the Kundalini energy grows up and it blooms, only positive and positive will be attracted in your life. Whatever negative was supposed to happen, you have flushed them out of your life. It's not there anymore. Okay. So what is the esoteric law? The esoteric law is true awakening. That is true awakening. When you're awakening your mind, your body, your soul, that is real yoga, where you're awakening everything together. So the upward Kundalini and the downward divine energy together, when they are in harmony, if only Kundalini rises, then what happens is if it does not harmonize, there will be imbalance. When it harmonizes and when it becomes complementary, suppose this is 50%, this is 60%, together it will make 110%, which is absurd. If this is 80%, that is 80%, together 160%, there will be catastrophe. So there it has to be together, it has to be 100. It has to balance. This union happens primarily at the crown chakra, which is Sahasrara. So finally, when it goes to the Sahasrara, what happens? It awakens all the petals and it blooms. So when this lotus blooms, you are a full bloom soul. Think about how it is represented all over the world. In our country, for example, we have Ganesha who wears a snake belt. If you notice now, you will see that he wears a snake belt near his navel. So his Kundalini has risen till the navel. You will see Cleopatra, or in Egypt, most of the kings and queens, they are wearing a snake in front of Ajna. They're a very ancient kind of civilization where they have had a lot of spiritual practices for ages. Their Kundalini, not everyone's, but those who are known mostly, has evolved till here. When you see the Shivalingam, you will see either one snake or three or five or maximum seven. So it represents as one layer awakened, or three layers or five layers or seven layers. We know there are seven layers in total and seven sub layers. So there are 49 layers. Now, another thing that I remember, when Shakyamuni Buddha, he got enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. After that, within that area, it's a big area. Today, the premises, it is enclosed, but he went to certain areas in that, certain places. He sat there for 7 days and he meditated. So 7 days he sat in the east and meditated. Next seven days he went to the northeast and meditated. Next 7 days he went to the west and meditated. So in seven different zones or different places, he meditated in each place for 7 days. When first I went, and I had a very senior, I wouldn't say he's not a guide, he's a researcher and a scientist, from US. And he is into Buddhism, very, very deeply into Buddhism, very highly evolved monk, but he's not given up normal life, ordinary our, samsaric life. So he was explaining to me and he told me, when he told me about this, what struck me in my mind is what really happened in each zone, in each place that he was sitting and meditating for 7 days. He awakened one layer and all the seven sub layers of that layer. He went to the second place. Over there, he awakened the second layer with the seven layers of the seven sub layers of the second layer. So in this way, in seven places, he actually awakened all the 49 layers of the Kundalini. So if you look at things, if you look at Vishnu sitting on the coiled snake, lying down on the coiled snake, you realize when you think about, Snow White and the seven dwarfs. What are the seven dwarfs? The seven dwarfs are the seven chakras, and she's the Kundalini energy. When you think about Sleeping Beauty, she slept for 100 years. There was nobody to awaken. She is the sleeping Kundalini energy. Prince Charming came, kissed her, awakened. She was woken up, and then both of them together lived happily ever after. So he was the spiritual divine energy. She represents the Kundalini energy. When they united, she awakened, and both of them started rising in their life and blooming their life. So Kundalini is a very, very sacred fire, beautiful energy. We have to respect it. We have to honor it. We have to pay regards. And with our respect and honor, we have to see to it that, we are doing the rituals which we need to do, the purification which we need to do to embrace that beautiful energy and help it to help us. Okay. I think that is a beautiful understanding probably of Kundalini. And we will stop now. I think we have finished the Kundalini. So what we will do is next day we will start with the blue triangle. So please bring the blue triangle, keep the blue triangle with you. Today we will do the invocation and we will finish the session. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, Guru Master Chokoksui, Mahaguruji Mele, all the great, great ones, holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers, all invisible helpers, Buddha Konen, Buddha Shakyamuni, all bodhisattvas, all beings of light, our divine self and higher soul. To all our ancestors, Kuldevta, Nagdevta, to Lord Savitur and all the planetary logos, including the shadow planets of Rahu and Ketu. We gratefully bow down before all of you and pay our respect to all of you. We are all super receptive, super conductive, and super, super grateful for your constant presence in our life, your constant blessings in our life, your constant help and healing, your constant protection in our life. Thank you for always being with us. Thank you for empowering us with the will to do good and keeping away the evil wherever it dwells. Thank you in full faith. So be it, so be it, so it is. Om. Amen. Amin. Tathastu, Tathastu, Tathastu. So thank you very much for your